openness to direct talks with Ukraine, but has not supported Kyiv's request to extend the Easter ceasefire. A spokesperson for President Putin stated that, while there are no immediate plans for negotiations to halt attacks on civilians, Putin is willing to dialogue with Ukraine if Kyiv removes certain obstacles. Despite the Kremlin's conditional openness to talks, the immediate prospect of extending the Easter ceasefire remains unaddressed. It is noteworthy that President Putin has previously suggested the possibility of direct talks with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, though such instances are not frequent. In Kyiv, President Zelenskyy articulated Ukraine's readiness to engage in talks with Russia in any format, but emphasized that a comprehensive ceasefire must be implemented by Moscow first. He pointed out that this condition remains unmet, particularly during the recent Easter weekend. Last Friday, President Putin announced a 30-hour pause in military operations. During this period, President Zelenskyy noted some reductions in the intensity of Russian military activities, including fewer long-range strikes. However, he also reported that the ceasefire was not fully observed, with multiple drone attacks occurring. Russia has maintained that it is open to negotiations, yet has pointed to a 2022 decree from Kyiv that complicates potential talks. President Putin has suggested that any discussions should happen following elections in Ukraine, resulting in new leadership. Since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, formal discussions have not. President Zelenskyy reaffirmed Ukraine's readiness for dialogue to protect civilian infrastructure, stating, "Our proposal for a ceasefire concerning civilian targets remains active. We require Russia's genuine willingness to engage." Both leaders have shown increased optimism about peace talks, possibly due to pressure from the Trump administration to reassess its mediation role without progress. Russia also noted a reduction in fighting during the Easter truce, while accusing Ukraine of breaching the ceasefire. On Russian television, President Putin expressed a positive attitude towards peace initiatives, but has not indicated a readiness to compromise on his long-standing demands, which include the demilitarization of Ukraine and the full recognition of Russian control over 4 regions of Ukraine. The Kremlin cautioned that swift breakthroughs in peace negotiations are unlikely. Ukrainian officials are set to meet with Western allies in London on Wednesday for U.S.-led talks regarding the ongoing conflict, following last week's meeting in Paris, where U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio proposed a resolution framework. Reports indicate the U.S. is advocating for a peace plan that may align with Russian interests, including freezing the conflict along the 1,000-kilometer front line, recognizing Crimea as Russian territory, and giving Russia a say in Ukraine's NATO membership. Ukraine is set to respond to a proposal in London, while the U.S. plans to communicate its stance to President Putin.